Welcome back and thanks for joining us as we share with you everything you need to know about planning your very own trip to the Mae Klong train market and the floating markets, all about a 3-hour journey from Bangkok. The first leg of this trip will have you taking the train from the Wang Wei Yai station to the Maha Chai station. This will be about a 60-minute train ride from start to finish, and before you board the train, you will find many local shops, vendors, and of course 7-Eleven to grab a drink and a snack to bring with you on board. The most important piece of information I can share with you about planning your trip is knowing that there are many daily trains from Wang Wei Yai to Maha Chai. However, there are only 4 daily trains that continue on to Mae Klong, so planning your trip accordingly each way is going to be key. I would also recommend stopping at the Wang Wei Yai station a few days before your trip to get the most current train times, as what you see online may not be current. Here's exactly what we did based on the times in December of 2024. Also keep in mind we did not explore Maha Chai, so if that's something you want to do, you will need to adjust your schedule to do this. None of the trains have AC, but they do have fans and windows that are kept open, so make sure to grab a seat on the side the sun is not shining in on, sit back, and enjoy the beautiful scenery as you enjoy your 1-hour trip to Maha Chai. Once we arrived in Maha Chai, we headed straight to the ferry station. To do this, you turn right onto the main market street and walk till you reach the very end. At the end of the street, you will turn left and you will see the ferry port not far ahead of you. To board the ferry, you go through the tunnel and the ticket counter will be on your left. You buy your ticket as you are boarding, and having exact change will make this process much faster and easier. Once you are on the other side, you can easily walk to the next train station. To get to the Ba Lem Maha Chai station, first you will follow everyone down the covered walk, being extra careful to avoid all of the motorbikes. Once you reach the end of the tunnel, you'll be turning right, but if you are in need of a snack or a drink, there's a 7-Eleven diagonally across the street that you can stop at before continuing. You're going to walk down this road being careful of the traffic until you come to a large temple on your right-hand side that has white elephant statues out in front of it. When you find the temple and the elephants, you'll be turning right onto the side street just past it. You will walk down this side street till it dead ends into the main temple complex, and here you'll be turning left to continue on to the train station. After making this final left-hand turn, you'll just walk straight, and this road will dead end into the train station itself. The station office is located where the tracks dead end at the far right-hand side. And the ticket office opens 20 minutes before a train arrives or departs so you can purchase your tickets. The trains we rode on had one car that had newer padded seats and several cars that had the older hard plastic seats. Of course, the newer padded seats filled up first, but there really is plenty of room on the train if you're okay sitting in one of the other cars. There are also pretty basic, fairly clean bathrooms on board, but they do not have any tissue or soap, so plan accordingly. We found that all of our trains left exactly on time, so be sure you're ready to go and board as soon as your train arrives. Once you're approaching the Mae Klong station, the train is going to slow down significantly, as this area becomes extremely tight and packed with people and stalls all along the tracks. This really is one of the main highlights for making this train journey, so make sure your cameras are ready, and regardless of which side of the train you look out on, you're going to get some really great shots. Once the train finally arrives in the station, you will find yourself in another large market with lots of food and shopping options. But we plan to explore all of this on our trip back, so we called a grab and headed to the floating markets to find our hotel for the next 2 nights. The hotel directed us to be dropped off at the Lao Tuk Luk market, and we found it a little hard to locate the hotel from there, so I thought I would share with you exactly how to get from that parking lot to the hotel. I took this video about 4 p.m. after everything had shut down for the day, so keep in mind if you plan to visit all of the floating markets in this area, they close up about 3 p.m. each day. This also means that if you're planning to spend the night like we did, finding something to eat for dinner can be a little challenging, but there is a 7-Eleven close by, and the food stall owned by the hotel is open till about 8 p.m. As I come down these last set of steps, we finally arrive at the hotel. You can also see that food stall the hotel owns just to my right. On the left is the reception area, and all of this seating by the water is for hotel and restaurant guests alike to use. The property only has 2 units for rent, but let me show you around the one that we called home for the next 2 days. The living room is just off the main walk, so it's important for me to note that those doors have no screens, so mosquitoes are definitely going to get in. So making sure you bring and wear your bug spray is going to be a must. Other than a few mosquitoes, we found this living room to be quite comfy and a really enjoyable place to relax. Moving on to the bedroom, it's going to be really important to keep that second set of wood doors shut to keep the mosquitoes out of your bedroom. And we were pleasantly surprised at how comfortable the bed was and how great the AC worked. I do need to point out that the walls are very thin, so you are going to be able to hear everything that goes on outside all night long, including the very loud motors on the boats. So if you're a light sleeper, this place is definitely not for you. The room also included breakfast each morning, and the process to do this is great in theory, but I think needs a little work on the execution. The local vendors told us the green paddles are worth 50 baht and the red ones are worth 20 baht each, meaning you have a total of 70 baht to spend on breakfast per person. We were also given this little map that shows which food vendors accept the paddles, but the easiest way to identify the restaurant is to look for the little red and white Loyd sign they have posted on the walls. The place we ate at on the first day had no items that were under 50 baht, so he told us to turn in both our paddles, and we each got a 70 baht chicken fried rice for breakfast, but our drinks cost extra. On day 2 we went to a different stall, and each of us got food costing 80 baht. She took both paddles, and when we tried to pay the difference in cost, she said it was not necessary. Again, this included no drinks. So in the end, I'm not sure if this property was really worth the $60 a night we paid, but they are a newer property, so maybe they will work out some of the kinks as more guests stay with them and give them more feedback. Now, the whole reason anyone comes to this area is for all of the floating markets, and the most popular one is the Damnoen Saduak market. This is the market that was just across the river from the hotel we stayed in, so it was just a quick walk over the bridge to access. All of the local floating markets are alive with local vendors and visitors alike enjoying all of the sights, smells, and experiences they have to offer. And since these are floating markets, of course one of the main experiences is being able to hop in either a paddled or a motored canal boat to experience the markets as they were designed to be used. The beginning of the journey is going to be super hectic, with boats smacking into each other and pushing each other out of the way to get by. But once you're through the main tunnel, things will spread out and get way more enjoyable. The next day, it was time to pack up and head back into town. And this is when we figured out that getting a grab from the Damnoen Saduak side of the market back into town would cost us about half of what we paid to get out there. Our next hotel was on the Mae Klong River, just on the other side of the train market. And I have to say, this property was really beautiful. The family that runs it are super sweet, and they have an amazing breakfast in the morning, so you definitely need to pay a little bit extra for that. They have a few different room types, but we stayed in one of these little cottages just at the front of the property, and I'll be giving you a room tour in just a few minutes. But first, let me show you around the property, tell you what breakfast was like, and share with you a really cool experience we had while staying here. Breakfast in the morning is a combination of fresh fruit, several drink options, and some traditional Thai breakfast items. But they also have some cook-to-order options as well. We opted for the chicken fried rice and fried eggs for breakfast, and we were definitely not disappointed with our choice. But before breakfast each morning, you can opt to take part in something we felt was really special, paying alms to the local monks by purchasing either a pre-packaged dry bag or a freshly cooked meal from the restaurant each morning. It was so worth getting up early to join the other guests as a monk rode to the dock so we could each present our offerings, and then the monk then blessed us as everyone prayed. Now let's move back over to our little cottage and I'll give you that room tour I promised. On the exterior of the cottage, there was a spacious deck that had a table and lots of bench seating. The interiors of the cottages were super cute with their bamboo and wood furnishings, but they also offered all of the amenities you could need in order to enjoy a lengthy stay. For us, the bed was extremely firm and a little uncomfortable, but that's something we're still trying to adjust to, as that seems to be pretty normal in Thailand. The bathroom was small, but the fact that the sink was outside of the bathroom made it a much more manageable and easy to use space. We paid $43 a night for this property and felt it was completely worth every penny. And honestly, if we had to do this trip again, we would definitely stay here all 3 nights and just make a day trip out to the floating markets. The front desk could call you a tuk-tuk anytime you wanted to go into town, and a one-way ride was about 80 baht. So we asked them to call us one, and away we went back over to the train market. We explored the market while we waited around with the rest of the ever-growing crowd for the next train to arrive. And let me just say that seeing it from the ground really does give you a new perspective on just how close the train comes to all of the stalls and people in the market. And it was crazy to watch all of the people who ran out on the track to take a photo with the train coming up behind them. Honestly, we had a wonderful 3 days exploring this area and both the train and floating markets, and we would definitely recommend you coming out here as part of your Bangkok adventures. But if doing a self-planned trip like we did is not for you, or maybe you don't have 3 days to spend in this area, there are lots of day tours that come out here and head back to Bangkok the same day. And it was also time for us to head back, so we hopped on the 10 a.m. train to do the reverse of what we had done just a few short days ago. After we got back to our condo and tallied up our expenses for this 3-day trip, we were pleasantly surprised that it really only cost us about $100 a day to get out and explore. Everything we got to see and do, but we want to know if you agree with us, so let us know in the comments below. We also want to say thank you so much for watching, but please hit that subscribe button so you can join us in all of our future happy travels.